Welcome to my presentation about the Carnivora, which is in the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Chordata, and the class Mammalia. It is one of the orders of the animal kingdom, and it is very peculiar in a sense, and very special as well. Most of the predators, well, predators that are big, are in this group. So without further ado, let's begin this presentation. Most members of carnivora have the distinct carnassial pairs on either side of their jaws. These consist of enlarged fourth upper premolar and first lower molar. The carnassial pairs are used to cut down meat and tendons of whomever is unfortunate enough to fall prey to the carnivores. So basically, this carnassial pair, as you can see on the spotted hyena there, is at the very back, like after the fangs, right next to where, well, the mouth is like, well, the mouth's edge is. You could see a big concentration of teeth at the far end there, and that's basically made for chewing. Just like humans, well, we use the back teeth to chew, they use that to chew, and that is very helpful for chewing through meat, basically. Most also have primitive 6 incisors on both the upper and lower jaws. That is talking about the teeth between the canines, which are the big long teeth. So those short little teeth right in the middle are the 6 incisors that they also use, but that is used for biting, not chewing. The canines or fangs are long and conical and are used for biting and tearing flesh. Canines are the big fangs. Fangs are used to grab on to flesh. Now, usually when hunting, that is a very handy tool because most carnivores, or at least most that hunt by surprise, usually grab on in the neck and hope that by holding on to it with the fangs, the animal will eventually die in order for them to eat it. As you can see, it's not so clear in the jaguar's mouth, but yeah, in the hyena it's pretty clear that you can see the carnassial pairs, the 2 fangs, and the 6 incisors pretty clearly. Now let's talk about sizes. Carnivorans, oh by the way, just to explain, carnivorans are basically members of carnivora. Not all carnivores are carnivorans, or no, that didn't come out right. So basically there are carnivores other than the order Carnivora, which is the order that is most filled with carnivores, but not necessarily all of them are carnivores, nor does that mean that all carnivores are in Carnivora. Carnivorans are usually medium-sized animals, for if they were too small, they couldn't find a lot to prey on, whereas if they were too big, they wouldn't be able to satisfy their appetites. Picture a blue whale. Blue whale has to eat plankton and krill, and at large amounts. A carnivore, let's say a terrestrial carnivore like on land, will have a pretty hard time trying to find enough food to satisfy itself. If it was huge, especially in the 21st century where humans dominate the food chain. What you see over there is that... Oops. Sorry. I click next. I would just like to have a moment of silence for this guy because this is probably the best picture I found during the entire presentation. This is, my friends, an elephant seal, a southern elephant seal, and it's going to be used in comparison with the picture above, which is a least weasel. The smallest carnivores are the least weasels that can weigh as little as 35 grams, and the largest and the coolest southern elephant seals can weigh more than 3,600 kg. My god, this is such a good picture that I literally had no words when I saw it. Okay, moving on. Generally, the males are larger, though there are a few exceptions like the spotted hyenas, where the female is bigger than the male. So most males in, well, carnivora are larger than the females, and that is most well exemplified through, well, elephant seals, or generally seals are a good example, because you can see the big fat male walking around, or I guess not really walking because they have flippers, but you get my point. So usually the seals, the males are huge and the females are just kind of skinny in comparison. The habitats. Well, carnivora are known to be in all types of places, and here's a basic list of where they can be found. Here are the regions and the biomes they can be found in. You can see by the pictures that they are in all types of extremes. At the at the top left, you can see the fennec fox, which is in the deserts. usually in the Sahara Desert actually. On the right you can see the polar bear, which can be found on the North Pole. At the bottom you can see the lion, and I tried to find the best thing I could find for like a savanna tree. But yeah, lions live in savannas and a lot of other carnivores as well. And of course the bear lives in forests, which is more harsher and colder than the savannas. Reproduction. Some carnivores like lions and seals demonstrate polygamy, where males fight for access to female harems. So basically one male fights, tries to get into a harem, has a bunch of wives there, kind of like, I don't know, kind of like Arabic society right now, where polygamy is still practiced. So the lion goes into this harem. He has as many wives as he wants. The wives do his job to get the food, and he just rests there. Just tries to make sure that other lions don't compete to dominate his harem instead of him. Some, like gray wolves, are monogamous and hence cooperative breeders. The dominant male and female breed, and the rest of the pack help raise their cubs. So the male and female, the head honchos, would mate, and the rest of the group will try to raise the cub. And of course, the rest of the group could also mate, but yeah, generally the main wolves are the ones that get the privilege of having others care for their cubs. Solitary carnivores such as bears, weasels, and cats are often polygendrous, where the males and females each having multiple partners during mating season. So basically, there's a season that starts. The male and the female. Well, the male walks around, tries to get a chick, mates, has fun, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. Okay. Moving on. Food. Most members of Carnivora are carnivorous, hence their name. Methods of attaining food vary. Some, like the cheetah, ambush their prey and overtake it by sudden burst of speed, hence the fact that they're the fastest animal on Earth. Others chase prey over long distances to slowly tire it out. This is actually what Stone Age people use, so I guess we're somehow related to carnivores after all. Carnivorans such as the coyotes are scavengers and thus obtain their food from dead carcasses, kind of like vultures. Arctic foxes store their food for the cold winter in their region. Some bears do this as well, and it's a pretty handy thing. I mean, humans used to do it. Another link. And of course, not all carnivores are carnivorous, and some carnivores are omnivores, and giant pandas are primarily vegetarian. Carnivorans are important predators in many ecosystems. They regulate the population of all the creatures below them in ecological pyramids. The removal often results in the loss of balance in nature and overpopulation of certain species. This then results in a domino effect of the overpopulated species devouring what's below it in the food chain to the point where nothing is left. At that point, they run out of food and begin to dying out as well. It's basically a system in nature that you really don't want to mess with. Let's say you destroy a big population of, I don't know, lions. The antelopes would start getting bigger and bigger in numbers, and they would start overgrazing the grass and such, and there's no more grass left. There's tons of antelopes. Antelopes start dying because there's no more grass. It's a really, really peculiar and good system that is really necessary for it to be. Removing one species can literally destroy the entire ecosystem, so that is something that really should not be done. I think this happened in the Yellowstone Park in the US, where they exterminated all wolves and the deer started overgrazing of some sorts. But after they got the wolves back in that park, then things started to change, which is good. So yeah, don't mess with them. These are the references. Yeah, I used one site basically for all my references because not a lot of sites feature this, but that one site's over there. That featured tons of information about Carnivora. These are the picture sources. According to the recent study in the journal Science, unless humanity takes effort to preserve them, over 75% of Earth's big carnivores face potential extinction. So there is still time to save them, and we should try all in our power to save them if we want to preserve some ecosystems in the next 200, 500 years. And that is the end. Glad that you could hear this presentation. I noticed that I did not say carnivorans a lot of times, and I said carnivores a lot more, but that's as I was reading, so every time I said carnivores, I should probably have said carnivorans to be more technically correct, so my bad on that. But it is a pretty confusing word, especially when you're used to reading carnivores, but carnivorans is something that you hear for the first time. But yeah, that is a video about carnivores, not a video, well, presentation. And I want to stress the point once more that carnivorans should be preserved in our ecosystem, and they are quite beautiful creatures, especially the southern elephant seal, like you saw in the picture. So yeah, peace out.